Shalom, right? Kahalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, double honors unto the apostles of GMS, Uruwa, who I learned the truth from, and salutations unto the elect, pushing the truth of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Alright, I'm just going to get into straight the missiles in the scriptures or in the Bible, or thermonuclear weapons in the Bible, because they are certainly in the Bible. This comes as this comes as a question that someone had on the highways maybe 3 weeks back. They were really going into what is a lake of fire, which hand in hand ties up with thermonuclear weapons, or what people call missiles or bombs, or really their title is ICBM. That's the highest form of technology right now, which stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, meant to go from one continent to the next. So we're going to first start off with Malachi 4:1. For behold, a day cometh that shall burn. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to start at Revelations just to get the theme of the lesson. And I'm going to start at verse 20. Revelations 19:20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. Now the beast is dealing with NATO, the whole system, the EU as well, right? Because you have the beast with the 10 horns, which is the EU, the 10 horns of the EU, and the whore that sits upon the beast, which the whore is America, alright? The false prophet being the Roman Catholic Church, because through the Roman Catholic Church you have all the other denominations that broke forth from them, and they're still the same thing. They're the false prophet, whether they're Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, Baptists, Methodists, Islam, because Islam sprang forth from the Roman Catholic Church, which you can research yourself. Alright, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, the RFID chip, and them that worshipped his image, this whole system. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. We're going to get into the brimstone as well. Alright, because the person asked, what is this lake of fire? And if you just type it in, right, lake of fire, there's another scripture. And we can go to Revelations 20. Go to the point, verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now you say, oh, this is hell. This is all it is when the missiles drop, there's going to be fire that's going to burn for a very long time. Not for eternity, because even if you look up this word in the Greek, forever, for meaning forever, all ever means is a time, because the word ever is eon. The Greek word eon, which all eon means, is a time or an age, right? Forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, that's what they say. All it really means is period of time or age, right? Just like how they have a saying, many eons ago. You have different eons. You have the Greek eon, which is the Greek age, the Persian eon, the Roman eon. Those are different ages or times, right? So forever just means a time, because that fire, hey man, that fire is going to burn for a long time. You kidding me? All that nuclear fallout, man, all those weapons, right? And again, remember that part, brimstone. So now we're going to get, oh, matter of fact, my bad, this is the judgment. We're just going to go straight to the point, because I want to cut and dry. Verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Now again, if this is hell, how are you going to cast hell into hell? Does that make any kind of sense for you retarded Christians out there? You so-called Christians. That doesn't make any kind of sense. Right? You cannot cast hell into hell. Alright, so death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. That represents this goddamn system, man, where hell and death reigns. That's why the elect are going to defeat death as Yahushua did. And we're going to be cast out of death. That's why it says in the kingdom is going to be a tree of life and medicines and all these things. No more sickness, no more death, no more ills, no more woes. Right? None of this whole shit. And this is the second death, which we're going to get into. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Basically, if you're not of the elect, which is dealing with the 144,000, along with the 1/3, which comprises men, women, and children, families, whoever the Lord has chosen, you're going to be cast into that lake of fire, which is the missiles, after the missiles hit. But remember the second death, because what do we know the first death? What was the first death? That was the flood with Noah, right? And again, this isn't the topic for fly-by-night Israelites, man. This is for brothers that actually want to get into it. Because a lot of you people are going to lose interest. You have a short attention span. So this is Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day cometh that shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So we all want to know, what's the day of the Lord? Because majority of people, they teach the day of the Lord is beautiful and so much good stuff. It is beautiful for the elect, not for the whole world. Alright, the day of the Lord shall burn as an oven. That's a clue, number one, and it shall burn them up. Verse 2, but unto you that fear my name, again, you have to know that name. You have to know the name of the Most High, the Lord, and His Son. Those are keys. That is the key. Right? Shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in His wings, which is the chariots, man. Right? They're going to beam up the elect. And you're going to have healing because your bodies are going to be transformed, man. You're going to be changed, as it says in Corinthians, in the twinkling of an eye. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be as ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. And that's the day of the Lord, man. And I want to kind of get into it, because I got a whole bunch of scriptures here. Go right here. Revelations 9 and 15. This is just to prove that, number one, the nuclear destruction is in the Bible. Alright, the thermonuclear destruction is in the scriptures, and the Bible describes it very vividly, if you have eyes to see. Again, it's not going to tell you ICBM, it's not going to have the word nuclear, but you have to, as the scripture says in Isaiah, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? Revelations 9 and 15, and the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men, dealing with Esau. That's what that represents, the third part of men. But it's going to slay everyone, really. But that judgment is meant for Esau, man, mainly. Alright? But again, they were loosed for an hour. So in 1 hour, this place will fall, man. Alright, there's another scripture, Revelations, that deals with that. I'm going to try to find it, matter of fact. For in 1 hour, that was a precept. 1 hour. Revelations 18. There's 3 of them. I'll start at 10. I'll just read the first one. And it says, standing afar off. It's lucky. I'm going to read verse 8. There's a lot of meat on this bone. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in 1 day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. This is talking about Babylon the Great, New Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Because the ancient Babylonians, they were not destroyed in such manners that you read right here. with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, right? When they shall see the smoke of her burning. So this is telling me the kings of the earth, all these other presidents and prime ministers and actual kings, the Rothschilds and the high aristocrats and international bankers, they're going to bewail, right? And they're actually going to see the smoke of her burning. You're actually going to see, you're going to look up. It tells you, hey man, this destruction is going to be something that no one has experienced. World War I, that's a walk in the park, man. World War II, that's nothing. It tells you that the sky shall be blackened. No joke, man. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is that judgment come. Plain and simple. In 1 hour. So that's what we're reading right here. There's a day, there's a month, there's a year, and it takes 1 hour. It's going to take 1 hour. And verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, which we believe to the spirit that saw with the missiles. Alright, 200 million. We have been taught this, right? That's what we believe through faith. Right? Because what does a horse really represent? A horse represents power, might. Right? Like when you see a police officer on a horse and he's mounting it and he's riding it. Right? Back in the ancient world, you had men on horses. You had the regular soldiers, but then you had, the higher generals and the captains. They will be on horses, man. That will be might. And the horse in itself is very fierce. It's not afraid of battle. It'll just run into battle. Right? Verse 17, and thus I saw the horses in the vision. He's describing them because it's not an actual horse. It's a parabolic talk. And them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone. There goes that brimstone again. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Right? Because the lion, what does a lion represent? Swiftness, fierceness. Right? It's very intimidating. Verse 18, by these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. What do you call it today? Nuclear war heads. Right? That was a point on that. Now we're going to go to Isaiah. We're going to jump around, man. We're just going to jump around to the Spirit, however the Spirit wants to bring it out. I didn't have a particular set or order. This is Isaiah 64:1. Oh, that thou wouldest rend the heavens, meaning destroy, right? Because you have three heavens, so to speak, when the scriptures talk about it. You have the first heaven, which is everything under the atmosphere, the ozone layer, right? You have the second heaven, which is everything above, which is the white man calls space. And you have the third heaven, which is the invisible world or the spiritual realm, right? So he's telling me, you rend the heavens, man, because it's going to be terrible, man. Remember, these prophets were seeing these things. Isaiah was seeing it. John was seeing it. Habakkuk was seeing it. Ezra was seeing it. There's great things happening. That thou wouldest come down, that the mountains might flow down at thy presence. Verse 2, as when the melting fire burneth, the fire causeth the waters to boil, to make thy name known to thine adversaries, that the nations may tremble at thy presence, man. And when that fire hits the Mississippi, maybe even some portions, for sure some portions of the ocean, the Pacific and the Atlantic, they're going to be on fire, man. Right? That's not a great mystery or an anomaly. When you have an oil spill, doesn't the fire burn in the water? Right? But this fire is going to be so hot, it's going to dissolve. It'll literally dissolve rivers and lakes, man. It'll boil. It's going to be so damn hot, man. One missile is 1 million degrees Fahrenheit, man. So it'll literally boil the waters, man. It's gonna melt the waters away. Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, all these lakes, the 5 Great Lakes, they're not gonna be great anymore, man. It's just gonna be a pit. You know? We're gonna jump around here. This is another good scripture. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. That's talking about the missiles, man. And what are these smiths? These smiths are modern day scientists, because in ancient world you had a smith, and he would work. You know, he had what do you call the blacksmith? That's what they call him. Or he'd be there banging and making the swords and the shields and the armor. But today, what is the Lord talking about? That bloweth the coals in the fire and bringeth forth an instrument for his work, because the Lord put the Spirit on these devils to split the atom and create that atom bomb, which later it was the hydrogen bomb, which was greater, and now it's a nuclear weapon, which is it's just crazy, man. the damage of it, because you had two processes. You had fusion and you had fission. Fusion is bringing, fission is splitting. And from the research I did a while back, I got to get back into it, do a lesson on that. I believe the hydrogen bomb was fusion and the atom bomb was fission, because they had to split. But these nuclear weapons today, they're a combination of fusion and fission, so they're very volatile, man. And I've created the waster to destroy. What is this waster to destroy, man? In the ancient world, what could the smith make that will be a waster to destroy? They didn't have anything in their arsenal for that, right? This is Isaiah 4:4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. So when are these jakes going to get purged and the filth, the filth washed away? So when the missiles drop, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning, man. Because we're spiritually going through that, man. We the hopeful elect. We are hoping to be the elect. So we are being purged. We're being burnt. You know that spirit, man. Right? We're mortifying our members to the best of our ability. But these jakes, they don't want to go through it spiritually. Fine, they'll go through it physically, man. They'll feel that physical burning, right? And this is Isaiah 9:5. This is beautiful scripture. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, right? Because in the ancient world, what did you have? You have these crazy battles. You have 100,000 people here, 80,000 people here that just battle it. You know, you'll be fighting, swords are clashing, people are getting arrows through their neck, someone's, having a war cry, confused noise, you don't know what the hell's going on, trumpets are being blown, right, horses are, breathing out. He's describing the ancient world, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. That's a straight cut. That is dealing with nuclear weapons, technology, right? That's a straight cut. Because what the hell in the ancient world, he even mentioned fuel of fire, man. You can just envision that as with the missiles, man. And Salakia, I had this. I took the liberty to look up. I took the time to look up brimstone online, just to do a little word search. There's actually a missile that's called brimstone. But let's go look it up. Brimstone is an advanced rocket-propelled, radar-guided weapon and can seek and destroy armored targets at long range. For indirect mode, weapons are launched when the targets in their position are now visible to the attacking aircraft, whereas in direct mode, the pilot uses an onboard sighting system to select the target. The target can lie off the aircraft's track, obviating need for the pilot to maneuver to release weapons. See, Brimstone 2 has now entered service. And this is Brimstone 2. Right? This is Brimstone 2 right here. See that? So, like I said, we were reading Brimstone earlier, about Brimstone, the lake of fire, right? And what I'm going to get about the second death, before I forget. I'm going to start 2 Peter 3 and 5. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, meaning the elements, because you have different elements within the atmosphere, and then the elements in space are different. Because in Genesis, right, it talks about the powers of God, as it is written, but we know it's talking about angels, the powers moved upon the waters, the face of the waters, which are the different elements that they bound together. Verse 6, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. That's the first death. And it's going to describe the second death, verse 7, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Right, I'm going to jump down here. Select verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, meaning it's going to be unexpected, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Or what's that great noise, man? When the bombs go off, the ICBMs go off, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. You see that? So the elements, they're going to melt with fervent heat. That's that powerful, that's that fire, man. You know, I'm getting passionate about it just thinking about it, but I can't even envision how it's going to be. No movie or documentary, nothing can envision how it's going to be. Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein, we're hastening. So you got guys talking about, you guys are depressing Israelites, and you guys are wishing for the day of the Lord, and shut the hell up, man. What does it say right here? Shut your damn wicked ass mind and mouth, and listen to what the scripture says. We are seeing that all these things should be dissolved. So like in verse 12, looking for and hastening. We're looking forward to the day of the Lord, man, to the day of the Most High. Wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. You see that? We're looking forward to that day, man. You know? Don't let these fucking guys fool you out here, man. You guys are the real bum Israelites. You got us bums. Hey, we'll be bums on the external, but we're some rich motherfuckers through the spirit of Yahweh Shai and apostles on down. Inside, man, inwardly. You guys are bums inwardly, man. You guys are fucking out there with your hands open saying, please, beg for dollar. You guys are those guys, man. You guys are the bums. You can keep putting off that facade and image of holiness and all that shit. You guys are the real bums. Alright, and we're gonna go I'm gonna actually show this. This is the movie Knowing, and this is the lake of fire. This is a good envisioning that you can look at. Alright, this is the end of the movie. And when I seen this, man, this was back in 2009. When I seen it, I said, that was beautiful, man. That's a very good, what do you call that shit? CGI or whatever. Where they make it animated or whatever. That's a beautiful way of showing how it's going to be, because if you watch the scene, I'm sure you can go on YouTube and check it out. This scene was beautiful. It was literally fire coming and dissolving everything, all these elements. But you know what? It's going to be even greater than that. It's going to be even greater than that. It's going to be something like Esau in his vain imagination can't even envision, man. A wall of fire just coming and devouring. See, this is 2 Peter 3 in full effect. What you're looking at right here. That's it right there. 2 Peter 3. The elements shall be melted with fervent heat. Right? So we're gonna go to here, In 2nd Ezra 16, I'm going to start at 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? So, when you read these scriptures, and this is one of the best scriptures you can prove for arrows, and because a lot of times in the scriptures, it mentions arrows, and it's really talking about the missiles. And this is one of the best scriptures to prove it. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh. See that? And the foundations thereof, meaning the so-called tectonic plates and all that shit, it's going to quake, man. It's going to be a great earthquake. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, because when the missiles hit, man, the fucking ocean's going to rise up. Tsunamis are going to, it's going to be, hey man, it's going to be terrible, man. You do not want to be left in that scenario. And the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. This is the point, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And this is the example I always use. Can you take an arrow, and we're in Toronto right now, can I take a bow and arrow? Can I take, never mind me, because I don't even know how to shoot an arrow, but can I take the top expert on the planet, and can he shoot this arrow to from Toronto to Detroit? Will it end in Detroit? Will it end up in Detroit? Can you shoot this arrow and it'll end up in Virginia? Or can you shoot this arrow and it'll end up in Vancouver? Hell no. So what arrow is going to be shot into the ends of the earth? Because you have two ends. You have the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. It's the missiles. And that's why it's talking about the earthquakes, right? And the fire and all that is talking about the missiles. So a lot of these times the arrows, matter of fact, I have this saved. There's a movie called Broken Arrow, you brothers can watch. And the whole concept of it with John Travolta is nuclear weapons being hijacked. And the code for that was Broken Arrow. The arrow being a nuclear weapon. Alright, all these things add up, man. That's why it's beautiful to the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Mashai. You know, all these things, you can see it and it adds up. Right? This is Jeremiah 15:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against you. That's going to be Russia, and that's really going to be even NATO, because they're going to shoot. They're going to turn on America, the EU. They're going to turn on America. They're going to shoot missiles on them too. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From them she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord, because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. You see that? Because you devils, all man, America has rejoiced, and he destroyed the Most High's heritage, man, meaning his people. And you are blacks, you're grown fat. Substance, resources, intelligence, inventions, everything, every aspect of life, you have grown fat. Your mother shall be sore confounded, dealing with who's the mother of America? Britain or England. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. This is not talking about ancient Babylon. This is a future prophecy. Alright, this is a future prophecy. This is Ezekiel 39:1. Therefore, listen, thou son of man, prophesy against God, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and leave but the sixth part of thee, meaning because Russia's going to get destroyed too. They're just going to have one part left. But the majority of their armies are going to be brought into the Valley of Jehoshaphat in the Middle East, right around the Red Sea, around that area, around like Saudi Arabia. It says, "And I will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and I will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel, and I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and I will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand." The missiles, they're going to shoot missiles as well, right? The same thing, And we can go on and on, man. There's so many, there's just so many examples of the missiles being in the scriptures. And if you can't see that the lake of fire is the missiles, man, and somehow you think hell is going to be casted into hell, then I can't help you, man. I don't know who can help you. Only the Most High can open your eyes. This is another scripture I was just thinking of, Isaiah 24 and 19. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth is going to move, man. You're going to have angels having to keep the earth in place. Verse 20, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Like you have a drunk guy, he's walking, he's staggering. He's going like that, right? You're going to have the earth just like that, man. And shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Right? You see that? It shall reel to and fro. And I want to end it off on this scripture. Isaiah 34. And 4. And the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, meaning the army. Right? The armies of these kingdoms shall be dissolved, man. How do you dissolve? How can how are you going to be disintegrated? That's like another word. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. These jakes. Right? And what does the scroll deal with? It shall be rolled as a scroll. You can try to type this in. You can miss a scroll. As you see right here, this is a scroll. It's being rolled out like a scroll, and this is the same thing that John seen. I believe it's in Revelations as well. Revelation 6. It's the same thing that John seen. All these prophets seen the same thing. Revelation 6 and 12. We'll go to the point. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell into the ground, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And what's that wind going to be? That wind is going to be these missiles, man. That's what the wind is going to be. Right? Because you can go on YouTube and type it in. Nuclear explosion, or nuclear detonation, whatever. Right? Or nuclear bomb testing. And you'll hear, the bomb go. And then all you hear is. Go on YouTube, go on the old footage. You'll hear that wind come. And in other scriptures, it talks about a destroying wind, because that wind is hot, and when it reaches you, it's going to dissolve you, man. Right? And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. You're going to have islands that are destroyed, islands moved. You're going to have a different world map. You're going to have a different world map. Babylon the Great isn't going to be on the world map. Right? But that was the point. That was the point, man. So with that, I hope you brothers are edified, to whom it may pertain. I hope you brothers are fed. I want to say, Ka halal, la Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Tamyad, and double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruwell, Salutations into you brothers out there, you sincere brothers. Alright, keep pushing the truth. We're almost out of here, man. These prophecies are coming to pass, and this will play out, man, upon the earth. Hey, man, it tells you the day of the Lord is great, man. The day of the Lord is terrible. That's why when Ezra seen these things, he said, woe is me, woe is me. Who's going to deliver me in those days? You know? It's going to be a very terrible plague, man. Alright, and there's many other scriptures I could have gone, but I already went, a little too far. But that's through the Spirit anyway. Just to bring it out, man, for the new brothers and for anyone, that it's meant for. Alright? So, yeah, hopefully next time I'll catch you brothers. I'll say shalom.